now that there's an edge on it, I would probably take it back to my Okudo again and try to put another edge on it just to refine it and see if I can't really get it to where I want it. I mean, it's good, don't get me wrong, but if I had to shave with it every day, would I be happy with what it's doing right now? No. Am I happy with what it's doing right now? Yes. If that makes sense. But I mean, it feels good compared to what the last 2 days or 2 times I used it felt like. But if this was in my rotation, the only chance it would get is if I dropped and broke repeatedly every other razor that I have with this edge on it. Because my other edges are phenomenal. They feel amazing. They feel smooth and comfortable. Excuse me. This edge is comfortable. Like if I had to put it on a rating, I'd say it's a 7. Smoothness, I think it's just because of its size. The smoothness just isn't there on that first pass for me. So to rate it, I'd say, I don't know, 6. Now that's my edge though. And I don't know how that would rate against somebody else's edge that they have. But I can tell you I hold myself to a pretty high standard. So yes, it's tough to get that with this razor for me. I don't want to press too hard and end up with the burn. But I'm not gonna finish with this. Why not? Right? I'll finish with it. Pass 1 done. Little rinse, excuse me. Well, I'm just happy it worked out. My God, I fought this thing like it owed me money. Okay. Not bad. One thing I wouldn't do would be if somebody knew nothing about it and wanted to start, I would never give them a razor like this. Ever. This is not something to start with. 5/8, yeah. 6/8 would be preferable for me to say, hey, start with this. And if you want to, find out later on how the other ones feel, then go for it. But 6/8 is, or the 13/16, which is what a lot of vintage come in. Vintage aren't very specific because they're vintage, and back then, you know, it wasn't as proven. For the molds, stuff like that. Um, See, it skips a little. Not a razor I would shave my face with daily. But anyway, um, what I was saying about the molds is none of them are truly perfect. That's why so many of these old blades are warped, and the warps are bad. They're not bad in all of them, but when you get one that's warped and you can see down the spine how ridiculously bad it is, then yeah, you get a warped razor. But I don't know. I've found that the new ones come like that too. Some of them, not to that extreme. I mean, but they come with a little warp in it. My Dovo had a little warp in it, and I've seen two Ralph Oss come with warps in them. I've seen two Ralph Oss come with warps in them worse than vintage blades. But once the warp was removed, it felt really good. And it honed very easily. Boy, you don't know struggle until you are honing a razor. Can't figure it out why it's not. And then you realize it has a warp. You take that warp out, 15 minutes, you're done. Done. Last night my video combination took a little longer than that because I was taking a break in there, but also, oh shoot, I grabbed my Parker. I'm so used to grabbing my Parker. Anyways, yeah, I mean, it feels good, but that's compared to the last 2 days, or 2 times that I've tried it. I mean, that's smooth. And I don't think I'm gonna get the same Skin 10 reaction today that I got the last time I tried it. 10 skin. I always call it Skin 10. Just finished watching that show on Netflix, Staircase. That thing had me hooked. The irony is, the whole time, if I really wanted to know how it was going to end, I could have Googled it. Since it was a real trial. But I showed restraint. And I watched it through. I don't know, that case to me could have went either way. But I don't know. I'm not an expert. Feels good. Right, and not that I do 4 passes. I have a routine that I do with my 2 passes, 2 and a touch up, but when I do these 3 pass shaves, I don't get to hit my neck the way I'd like to, even though it's not like I go bearing down on my neck or anything. I just like to give it a really light down stroke on there. I guess you would call it a down stroke. I like to move the razor from my chin to my feet. How's that? And just lightly. Yeah, this razor's a pain. It's not always like that, guys. It's usually much smoother. And just because I don't feel like being irritated, I'm gonna finish this up with my Parker. No, oh, that's my Dovo. Screw it. I'm actually throwing that other razor away just because I don't want it, and I don't want to sell it to anybody. I think it's a shit razor, steel wise, and to be able to put the edge on it that I did, I think is an accomplishment. The thing is terrible. Just goes to show you, don't judge a book by its cover. I thought it was going to be a decent razor, Japanese made, and buddy, I was wrong. Smooth. Feels good. Always check, just make sure you do the little scoop under your nose. Make sure you got it all. You can probably hear that. I didn't. Picking up what that other razor left behind. Thing's trash. I thought about saving the scales, but I think they're cursed. I don't even want them. I'm gonna call that a day. Actually got a little bit under my chin I need to hit. It's hard to do it over here. Oh, my Parker. It's hard to see it. Since the camera's up here in my way. It's funny, my son's name is Parker, and my wife thought I loved my Parker razor because of my son's name. No, it's just an amazing razor. Anyways, guys, you saw that it could be done to put a shaveable edge on it. And with that, that's